On November 24, 1971, an ordinary day for most Americans preparing for Thanksgiving, a mysterious man walked into Portland International Airport. He purchased a one-way ticket for just $20, boarding Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305, a short trip to Seattle. The name on his ticket was Dan Cooper, but the world would come to know him by a slightly altered name, D.B. Cooper. Dressed in a black suit, white shirt, and skinny black tie, he carried nothing but a briefcase and a paper bag. Passengers and crew would later describe him as calm, polite, and nondescript, a man who wouldn't stand out in a crowd. Yet, what he was about to do would cement his place in American folklore. Shortly after the flight took off, Cooper handed a folded note to Florence Schaffner, the flight attendant. Initially thinking it was just another businessman's phone number, she tucked it into her pocket without reading it. Cooper leaned toward her and whispered, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." The note, written neatly in all capital letters, stated that he wanted $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck standing by in Seattle to refuel the plane for a longer journey. Schaffner, understandably shaken, asked to see the bomb. Cooper opened his briefcase just enough for her to glimpse a row of red cylinders and wires, convincing enough to leave no room for doubt. The captain, William Scott, was informed, and the plane's course was redirected toward Seattle. Passengers were told there was a minor mechanical issue, keeping them unaware of the hijacking. Meanwhile, the FBI scrambled to meet Cooper's demands. The money, bundled in $20 bills, was quickly assembled and photographed to record the serial numbers. The parachutes were sourced from a nearby skydiving school. When the plane landed in Seattle, Cooper allowed all 36 passengers to disembark in exchange for the money and parachutes. Despite the tension, he remained courteous, even paying for his in-flight drink and offering to release the flight crew if they felt unsafe. But they stayed, now part of an unprecedented airborne heist. After refueling, Cooper directed the plane to head south toward Mexico City, instructing the pilots to fly at a low altitude of 10,000 feet and at a slow speed of 200 knots. The cabin lights were dimmed, and the crew was ordered to stay in the cockpit, leaving Cooper alone in the cabin. Sometime after 8 p.m., as the plane flew over the dense forests of southern Washington, Cooper opened the rear staircase, a feature unique to the Boeing 727. Against the howling wind and freezing night air, he stepped into the void, carrying the cash and one of the parachutes. He was never seen again. The FBI's investigation began immediately, launching what would become one of the most exhaustive manhunts in history. Hundreds of agents combed the suspected drop zone, a rugged and remote area near the Lewis River. They interviewed anyone who might have crossed paths with Cooper, from skydiving experts to military personnel. Yet, no definitive evidence was found. In 1980, almost 9 years after the hijacking, a young boy named Brian Ingram stumbled upon a decaying bundle of cash along the Columbia River. The money, amounting to $5,800, matched the serial numbers of Cooper's ransom. This discovery reignited interest in the case but raised more questions than answers. How did the money end up there? And where was the rest of it? Over the years, numerous theories have emerged. Some believe Cooper didn't survive the jump, succumbing to the harsh wilderness and leaving no trace. Others suggest he meticulously planned his escape, possibly with an accomplice, and lived out the rest of his life in anonymity. A few even speculate that the entire operation was a covert government ploy or an elaborate hoax. In 2016, after 45 years of fruitless leads, the FBI officially closed the case, though it remains an open mystery to the public. To this day, amateur sleuths and professional investigators alike continue to search for answers, captivated by the audacity and enigma of D.B. Cooper. Who was this man? A desperate criminal, a thrill-seeking adventurer, or something else entirely? As the legend of D.B. Cooper grows, so does the intrigue surrounding one of America's greatest unsolved mysteries. What do you think happened to D.B. Cooper? Did he survive the jump, or does his fate lie buried in the forests of Washington? Share your theories and keep the mystery alive.